Hi guys! So if you are a teacher, this video is 100% for you. So I was actually going to spend the day writing all this other content for my nutrition website, but I could not get my teacher friends out of my mind because I know that flu season has started to hit and maybe you're not feeling well and maybe your kids are starting to get sick, and I couldn't help but share this information with you. So maybe you're not a teacher, maybe you're a mom, or you're just somebody that doesn't want to get sick this flu season, then this information will help you a ton too. So, if you don't know who I am, my name is Hannah and I am a holistic nutrition coach. But before that, I was a teacher. So, up until this past fall, I was a fifth grade teacher and I taught third grade and kindergarten before that. In the beginning part of my teaching job, I would get really paranoid every flu season because I felt like I was going to get sick anytime. And even like, I didn't see my students as people. I saw them as like the little animated germs in the Lysol commercials walking around my classroom. So it was really hard to teach well during that season because I was paranoid that they were going to make me sick. So then I started learning more about nutrition and some easy things that I could do to boost my immune system and actually stay strong against that. And so the last couple years of teaching, I was not nearly as afraid during flu season. And even if like I was sitting and helping a kid with their math and they were coughing, I wasn't afraid that I was going to get sick because I knew that I was protecting myself against that. So I couldn't help but share that with you. I didn't want to keep that to myself because these things really work when you do them. And I won't say that I never took a sick day. I did, but I will say when I did get sick, it was usually because I wasn't following through with some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So when I was, it was very, very effective. And I think there was one year, a couple years ago, when I didn't take a single sick day. I took a mental health day, and I took off for like a wedding, but I never stayed home because I was sick. So these really are effective, and I want to share them with you. So I'm going to break this up into 3 phases, and the first one is I'm going to share those things that I do daily, even outside of flu season, to boost my immune system. And then I'm going to share the things like I call it code yellow, like November through March, when you know people around you, like you're scared to go to Target because there's germs everywhere, that kind of thing. What are those extra things you can do? And then code red, like a kid in your class just puked or someone at your house is sick. What can you do to protect yourself? Okay, so I'm going to start with the things I do daily, and I can't talk about immune health without talking a little bit about nutrition. So it's more than just like taking a glass of orange juice for vitamin C. Like that vitamin C is a really important nutrient for your immune system, but it's not the only one. And they all have to work together for it to really, really work. So you can't just like eat junk and then eat an orange and expect it to boost your immune system. It's just not going to work because they work synergistically. They work all together for it to be really effective, okay? So one way that you can do this is to start eating as many different colors as you can. So go to the grocery store, go to the produce section, and pick out like purples, greens, reds, yellows, as many colors as you can of produce, of fruits and vegetables, because the more colors that you're getting, the more nutrients that you're getting, okay? So one thing that I did when I was teaching is every Sunday I would make a huge salad that had all these different colors of vegetables in it. And that way it was all chopped and ready to go. And then throughout the week, I could just take a little portion of that with me to school for lunch, or maybe I would do it in the evenings after work before I ate the rest of my dinner. So whatever works for you, because I know it's time consuming to sit there and chop a salad every day. So I like to actually do that ahead of time, but get as many variety of colors and vegetables as you can. Another thing that I would do every morning around 10, I would have some fresh fruit, and my kids were always super jealous. They thought it wasn't fair that I could eat in front of them, and I always said, well, go to college, get a degree, and then you can eat an apple at 10 a.m. too, so you can tell them that. But that also gave me tons of energy, and it will you too. Like if you start eating fruit in the mornings, you're going to have energy well into the afternoon, which I thought that was impossible for teachers to have energy at like 2 o'clock. So it really does work if you start doing this consistently. Okay. I said, or maybe I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm not big on supplements. I think it's way more important to get your vitamins and minerals through the food that you're eating. It's just cheaper. Your body knows how to process food more than it knows how to process a pill. So try to get it in your food. Now, I say I don't like supplements, but there are a couple that I do like, and I want to share those with you. Probiotics is one of those most important things to me. I think that they're more important than a multivitamin for most people. And briefly, what they are, I like the Dr. Ohhira's brand. That's the kind I'm taking right now. I alternate between a few. I kind of like to try different ones out, but this is the one that I like right now. But our digestive systems have a balance of good bacteria and bad bacteria, and the probiotics are the good guys. That's the stuff that's actually crowding out that bad bacteria. So the more probiotics you're getting through maybe a supplement, there's also some foods that have probiotics. You're essentially like making it so there's no space for that bad bacteria when you get assaulted with it. So your gut health is so crucial to fighting against germs. So the more, I highly recommend taking a probiotic, especially during flu season, but I recommend it daily. Okay, the other little supplement that I'm going to share is vitamin D, and this is the Carlson's brand. Vitamin D, make sure it's D3, not D2. And I just put a drop in my water every day and take it. So there's a lot of research that actually says that during the winter, one of the main reasons why we get sick so easily is not because there's more germs and bacteria around, but it's actually because we're getting less vitamin D than we are in the summer when there's the sun and all of that. So vitamin D is so important. I highly recommend taking that. Okay, that's all that I will talk about with the diet stuff, and I'm going to stick around until the end because I'm going to share some ways that you can get free access to more like recipe and ways to make healthy eating easier for you. Free resources for that at the end of this. So fast forward if you want to go right to that, or just wait, and I'm going to share that with you. So the other thing is exercise. So exercise is not just for like weight loss and muscle toning. Of course, that is important too, but exercise boosts your immune system. Your lymphatic system, the lymph fluid is what cleanses your body of those viruses and bacteria and toxins. And the thing about it is it doesn't move on its own. Like, it's stagnant unless you move. So you have to stimulate that lymph fluid in your body. And you do that by moving, like jumping, walking, dancing, anything you can do to get moving that's going to activate those immune cells and start cleansing those viruses and bacteria from your bloodstream, from your body. So what I would do every day before school, I have a mini trampoline. I've done this for years, but I would just jump for like 10 minutes before I got ready in the mornings, and it would boost my immune system for several hours early in the morning. So you don't have to get a trampoline. I highly recommend it because it's super fun, but do anything. Just get up and jump for a little bit. And the cool thing about it is you don't have to exercise for like hours a day to get the effects of this. Even just a few minutes throughout the day can help boost those immune system cells. If you were at Sunnyside with me, you might remember the ABC Fitness breaks I did with my kids throughout the school day. And those are just essentially exercise breaks throughout the day. And I did it for them, but I kind of did it for me too, because it was ways we'd get up and just like do jumping jacks or just move. And that was a way to stimulate my immune system throughout the school day as well as theirs. So whatever you can do, just start moving just a little bit, and it's going to make a big difference. The last thing to do daily is getting good sleep. And this is kind of an obvious one, but sleep is just so important. When you're sleeping, you're resetting your cells, you're repairing, you're healing, you're giving everything a break so that it can work well the next day. And if you're not getting good sleep, you're going to get sick. And that's something that I found for me. Even if I was eating perfectly and doing all the right things, if I wasn't sleeping, I would get sick. So those days that I did have to take a sick day off school, it was usually because my sleep was off. So whatever you can do, like to set up an evening routine so that you can calm down and get good sleep every night, like set boundaries for leaving lesson plans at school, or setting a time frame when you're just done looking at a screen, done working on stuff, just turning your mind off and getting good sleep it's going to make a huge difference. Like, I would say focus on sleep before you focus on diet stuff, because it's just like so crucial. Okay, so let's move on to Code Yellow. So November through March is kind of what I consider Code Yellow time, which is a really long time. It's a long time to kind of be on guard. So anyway, some of those extra things that you can do and that I do, and you don't have to do all this at one time, but I just want to give you a handful of things so you have some things to choose from. Okay, the last supplement that I'm going to share with you is, it's called Enzyme Defense, and it used to be called ViraStop for a reason. I actually like that name better because it described what it does. It's an enzyme supplement that, and protease is one of those enzymes that it basically breaks down the proteins, and it's going to help break down those viruses and bacteria and get them out of your body. And so this is something that I take during flu season to help boost my immune system. And I'm also going to share this in a resource later on in an email. I'll tell you how to get that email. That's going to have all these things listed, so you don't have to go back and look at it. So enzyme supplement, I recommend it. The other thing that I do is take apple cider vinegar in my water a couple times a day. And what this does is it alkalizes your body, and a lot of viruses and bacteria can't survive in an alkaline environment. So what we want to do is not just like have to avoid germs. We want to create an environment so that the germs can't live in our systems. And apple cider vinegar is a huge way to do that. It also has some vitamin C in it, so there's just a lot of ways that this works. Another thing you can do if you don't like the taste of apple cider vinegar, because it's not my favorite, I just chug it down because it's so effective, but lemon juice, like freshly squeezed lemon juice in your water, will also have a similar effect, so you can do that as well. Okay, the other thing is teas, and I'm actually drinking mine right now. So my favorite brand of teas is called Traditional Medicinals, and this one that I'm drinking right now is Echinacea, and there's so many different kinds. I like to kind of switch it from week to week, but this is a great way. This is part of like my morning routine and evening routine to get some immune boosting components, I guess, into my system, and it can be really effective if you do it regularly. Okay, and the last thing for the Code Yellow section is I can't really talk about the immune health without at least mentioning essential oils. So I do thieves oil. I would diffuse this in my classroom, and I would also take a couple drops in my water throughout the day. And I'm not going to go into depth about essential oils. If you are interested, I have a couple people that are really, really knowledgeable about essential oils, and I would love to pass on their information to you so that you can get into contact with them and learn more about that. But for now, just this is the one that that I try to always have on hand. Okay, so let's move into the last phase, which is the Code Red phase, which is my least favorite phase, but it's nice to know that there's things you can do, and you don't just have to sit around like a sitting duck and wait for the sickness to come to you. So you're going to think I'm kind of weird on this, and I hesitated sharing it, but I'm going to because it works. So that is internal clay. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. There's a book that I really like. It's called The Clay Cure, and clay is a huge detoxifier, and it basically is going to get those viruses and bacteria out of your system as quickly as possible and basically neutralizes them. So I have like a big container of it, and notice that it says edible clay. Please make sure that you're getting the right kind. I think clay is kind of like mushrooms in the sense that like some are okay to eat and some aren't. So you want to make sure you know what you're buying and what you're taking. So don't go out and just buy random clay and eat it because I told you to. Make sure you're getting the right kind. So I have a big bucket of it. I don't know if you can see it, but I have like a spoon. And so I will get a mason jar and just mix it with water and take that in the evenings if there's like a big virus going around, and that really, really works. So the last one for Code Red is oregano oil, and this is kind of like the thieves, but it's a little bit different. This is a really potent antimicrobial, and there's some research that says that this kills like the bad stuff and the good stuff, like the probiotics. So it's recommended that you don't take this daily, like all the time. There's also research that says it's fine. So I kind of try to balance that out and not take it daily, but just in times where I'm really trying to boost my defenses. And I just take a couple drops a few times throughout the day. If someone if my husband is sick or if people in my classroom are sick, I would go right to my desk and take it, and it's really, really powerful. I'd also take it, like if I started feeling sick, I would take a couple drops right before I went to bed, and I would wake up and feel really, really good. I would feel better. So those are a couple things you can do. Okay, before I share the last part, I just want to do a little disclaimer and say that obviously I'm not a doctor and I'm not trying to prescribe something or diagnose anything for you. And so please talk to your doctor if you have any questions about if any of these things are good for you or going to, not be a good fit with any medication that you're taking. I just want to say that up front. I'm not saying these things are perfect for everybody, but they're really good for me and for most people. So just had to say that. Okay, so the last thing I want to say is if you do get sick, please stay home. Like, stay home and rest. And I know it's more work to make sub plans and all that, and I know you might get behind on your curriculum calendar and all of that, but I know your students are important. I know your lesson plans are important, but also you are important. And I am just so passionate about how just helping teachers take care of themselves, and because I think that you're just going to be a better teacher if you're feeling well. So stay home, rest, and then go back the next day and be the awesome teacher that you are, but do it from a state of feeling well and taking care of yourself, right? Okay. And like I mentioned before, I want to give you an opportunity to get access to my free recipes, free wellness guides, free resources, some other things. And so what you can do for that is on the top of this video, there's a button. And if you click on that, it says it talks about my 5-day Making Cravings Your Best Friend video challenge. So if you click on that button, it'll take you to a sign up for that. And you can sign up for those videos and you can watch them if you want to. But even if you don't watch them, like if that's not something that you're interested in, just by signing up for those videos, you're going to get access to, for a lifetime access to all of the resources and recipes that I have. So I highly recommend that. If you're stuck on, if you don't know how to eat and you're confused on how to do even all the stuff that I just talked about today, then sign up for that. That's a way that I can share that with you. I also do one-on-one nutrition coaching, but I'm not going to try to sell that to you because I just care about teachers and I love what I'm doing now, but I also miss my teaching community, and I wanted to give you a free resource for that. So, okay, that's all I wanted to say. Please reach out to me. Seriously, I want to help you in any way I can. So you can email me at hannah@hannahparkerhealth.com. I'm going to have a new website up and running soon. It's still in the works, but that's going to have a lot of resources on it as well. So follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Hannah Parker Health, and I'm going to share tips for that too. So, okay, thanks for listening, and seriously, reach out if you have any questions. I want to help you.